Today we're going to cover how I build these deep frames for my beehive. Now that we have our nukes built, we need to build some frames for them. So here I have some 9 1/8 groove top bar frames. I get these from my local bee supply store. So we will get these pieces out, get them separated and ready to go. I like to just lay my pieces out so like items are piled together, and that just makes it easy so you can grab things and kind of slot them in where you need them. So last year, my first year of beekeeping, I would just build these things one at a time. I would glue them, nail them. I use these nails that came supplied with them, and they were okay, but I actually found that these nails, which are ring shank nails, they're called panel board nails. This is what I use. They're ring shank. They're 1 5/8 inch long. Those little ribs kind of give them better grip than a normal nail, and I figure using these with glue shall make them pull out a little less. But that's not what we're doing today. This year, I've been meaning to up my efficiency, so I'm not over there pounding these little nails in one at a time. I want to use the staple gun. So I put together this little box for the sake of speed. I've seen other beekeepers do it where they have bars and stuff in them, but this is more basic than that. It's more or less just a box where I could lay these top bars down in a row. If I line them all up, it should be about the right size. So let's just see how this goes. Line those up. Then we got these ones. So what I like to do is take glue, make sure we're gluing into all these cracks and crevices. And usually I put a piece of cardboard down so I don't glue my table, but what I can do today is 2 pieces of plywood. Those will work. It's good not to glue the table. We'll do this. There we are. Now if I spill any glue, it's not a big deal. It'll just be on the plywood. So I will do this on every single one of these. And maybe I could speed up the video so you don't have to watch it all, because that would make for a long video. Now that I got the frames glued together, the top bars to these sideboards, I can bring in my fancy box, which is just a bunch of 1x3 rough cut lumber, and you can see I actually made it a little tight, so I kind of knocked it out just a tad. Give me some room, but it has a lip right here that is lower. These long boards are a little bit proud on this edge, and then this one goes down. And that is because when you flip it like this, so these 2 smaller sideboards are a little taller, they will go right here, slide in, and kind of hold these things in place. This is just a very easy, basic little box that I made to do this job. I've seen other people do things where they have holes that slide into them that hold it, but I figure this is kind of a tight fit. It'll provide a little bit of pressure there and keep these arms from tilting out too much. So more or less I want them to stay vertical and kind of hold everything in place. And when they're here, we could take that handy wood glue again and start gluing the ears on these, because we want glue on all three of these surfaces so that the panels will have a nice glue adhesion as well as have that mechanical staple adhesion. So take our time, glue this up. Okay, now that we have those glued up, we'll be putting on our bottom bars. So I just put a tad of glue there. I don't think it's needed because there's enough on the other side, but I don't think you could use too much glue because when there's excess, you could just wipe it off. But I'll go down the row, put these in. Alright, now that all those top bars are in, we want to make sure that these bars and the bars below are seated. So I will just pull them like this and give each one a tap. And what that will do is make sure that these top and the bars below are actually seated as far down as they need to be. Now we'll pull out the staple gun and start stapling down the line. I have my frames here glued up, stapled up, more or less ready to go, and I also have my black plastic foundation. These are either single or double dipped foundation. These look like they're single. They just got a little bit of wax in there to get the bees started. From here on, this is what I do, is I just set these in and kind of pop them into place. And you kind of just work them, get them into the grooves until they pop, just like that. I prefer these black foundations just because when they draw comb up, it gives a nice dark bottom. So when I look down those little cells, when they're empty and they have a little egg at the bottom, that white egg stands out a lot better to me on these black ones than they do the yellow colored or white or any of the other colors. So this is what my local supplier has a lot of, so this is what I started using and it works for me, so that's what I use. We'll go ahead and knock these things out and put these together. Oh, another thing that I remembered with these ones is there's little corners up here that are a little notched. You could bend them and break the corners off. I guess what that does is, I've seen this because I was just looking at some of the frames in my hives. When you put it in, and you put that to the top, it gives a little kind of a corridor for the bees to travel through. So right there, the top of the frame, it'll give a little corridor for, you know, when your queen is right here and you pick up that frame, she'll be able to run right to the other side before you could even find her. And then you'll flip it over here and boom, she'll be back on that dark side again in no time. I don't know if you guys have wily queens, but sometimes they just jam from frame to frame, only when you're looking for them. All right, we'll get the rest of these knocked up. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, should I do this, should I not do this? What do you guys do? Do you knock out the corners or do you leave them? I guess you could leave a comment below and maybe state what you do and your reasoning for it, or what you do just because. Now that we have our frames made up, we could get them put into the box, get them out there into the beehives. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.